The lineup has been announced for Eric Clapton's Crossroads Guitar Festival 2023. It's taking place in September in Los Angeles. This is one heck of a lineup, Willie. What are your thoughts on all these different artists that are going to be assembling in Los Angeles come September?
Well, I think on first glance, there's some new people in there, some new faces. You're going to get it. Eric Clapton. We always talk about Eric Clapton. He is a legend. He is great. The Crossroads Festival, what it's about, what it stands for, will draw people. It's a good cause, you know. And I know a lot of what Eric gets in the media these days is people tearing him down. Take a look at the Crossroads. If you don't think that he has a heart and a soul, he's trying to help people out. Having said that, I look at some of this new blood, Marcus King, Joe Bonamassa. You know, not only is it new blood, but it's younger blood, Pete. I mean, what do you think about that? That's a little bit of a change.
That was one of the things, Willie, that grabbed me first when I saw this lineup. Obviously, you've got some of the old guard. You've got Eric Clapton. You've got Buddy Guy. Awesome. But then you see names like Joe Bonamassa, who has not been at Crossroads since 2010. So 13-year gap in Joe Bonamassa. This is only his second time at Crossroads. You've got Kingfish at Crossroads, which is awesome because over the years, Crossroads, always a fantastic lineup, but there hasn't been a huge influx of younger artists at Crossroads. And this really seems like the year where they truly have the past, present, and future with this lineup.
Yes.
You've also got Eric Gales, who's going to be making his first appearance at Crossroads, which is great. He totally deserves it. Samantha Fish is going to be making her first appearance at Crossroads. So I think they've really done a good job now of assembling some of those artists who are really carrying the genre forward today. You've also got first-timers like Ariel Posen and the brothers Landreth, which, to be honest, Willie, I was kind of surprised, very pleasantly surprised, to see those names on the list because Ariel Posen and the brothers Landreth, some of the most talented musicians in the world today. Bonnie Raitt actually won a Grammy with a brothers Landreth song this year. And those artists are super, super underrated. And it's really awesome to see them getting to perform on a platform like Crossroads.
Yeah, and you know, talking about those two guys, I think that the people who go to Crossroads, I think those are two names where people might see the bill and say, well, the brothers Landreth, you might also think of the Landreth name, so that may draw you. But, you know, a guy like Ariel Posen, we had him on the show. We were lucky enough to grab him. At least I felt that way. I know you did too. We had him after he released his How Long album. We've spoken about this. John Mayer's all over the radio. Ariel Posen does some of the blues, and he can dig into hard classic blues, funky blues, but he is ready for the radio. People need to see him. He's got songs. He's got a great voice to go along with it, an incredible personality. He loves music. The brothers Landreth, I reviewed their 87 album. That was the title, not the year. I think it was 2019. I remember that album. I still listen to that. I gave that a 9. I was leaning towards a 9.5. I think when people go see their sort of mix of blues and Americana, I think it's like going to be great. I think their songs hold up well. Pete, they have also pulled in not just new and young names, but it seems like they've maybe expanded their genre base a bit too, which I think we always talk about this. Let's get blues and other genres together. Let's get some of those crossovers.
Yeah, and I think this lineup, Willie, it definitely has that. It's got a lot of younger artists, which we kind of touched on a little bit, but really expanding, as you said, her, who has like a million, was up for 1 million Grammys.
May I for a second, just because I wrote these down, usually I can remember these, but they're so numerous. Won an Academy Awards, Best Original Song, BMI R&B and Hip Hop, Most Performed Song, Golden Globe Award, Best R&B Performance. I'll let our listeners and viewers check these out, but I'll let you know all 3 for different songs. She was nominated for Grammy Song of the Year thrice and also Album of the Year 3 times. Pete, those are non denominational categories, that is general submission. Those are the big awards. That's a huge name. That's a different genre. She classifies herself as R&B, but it's different. It's new blood, and the blues need it. And
yeah, so Willie, let me go through the entire lineup for folks who want to know, because this lineup is insane. You've got Joe Bonamassa, Doyle Bramhall II, James Bullard, Eric Clapton, Gary Clark Jr., talking about modern, Sheryl Crow, Jerry Douglas, Jacob Dylan, Andy Fairweather Lowe, Samantha Fish, Eric Gales, Vince Gill, Buddy Guy, Ben Haggard, Her, Sierra Hull, Christone Kingfish Ingram, Marcus King, another modern day guitar hero, the brothers Landreth, Sonny Landreth, Albert Lee, Los Lobos, Taj Mahal, Pedro Martins, John Mayer Trio, John McLaughlin, Del McCory Band, Roger McGinn, Keb Mo, Ariel Posen, Robert Randolph, Robbie Robertson, Kurt Rosenwinkel, Carlos Santana, Gustavo Santaolalla, Daniel Santiago, Stephen Stills, Molly Tuttle, Jimmy Vaughn, Bradley Walker, The War on Drugs, and ZZ Top.
The War on Drugs. That's a radio-friendly group. Did you mention Albert Lee, the master of the Telecaster? People who haven't heard Head, Hands, and Feet song for Susie. Is that a real lineup?
That is a real lineup, and that is one of the best lineups you will ever see.
Had.
With that, Willie, is there anyone that you don't see on this lineup that you wish was on the lineup?
Oh, she just listed a lot of names.
The problem is, Willie, it's such a logistical nightmare to try to get all of these artists in one place at one time. You're never going to get everyone that you want on the card.
Right. People have other tours. Because I tend towards that dirty jam band sort of ethos and feel. I didn't hear you call Government Mule or Warren Haynes. Not that that's, like you said, he's got his own life, his own tours, his own albums, but that would be a name I'd think of. They've played there before. Tedeschi Trucks. I love Derek Trucks. Same sort of deal, into that sort of Southern jazz rock grit. Those are two names, but Pete, I'm not complaining. Pete, what about you? Do you have any names that you think could have fit on that card that you would have just been the icing on the icing of the cake?
Yeah, just a few more names that I think would fit really well at the Crossroads Guitar Festival. Obviously, you think of a guy like Kenny Wayne Shepherd, great fit. You have someone like Anthony Gomes, I think would really benefit from a platform like this, because in terms of modern day blues rock, he's really doing it as well as anyone out there right now.
For sure.
I think of a band like King over in the UK. Awesome, underrated band that I think needs more attention. Philip Sayce. I mean, he got to play Crossroads back in 2013. He actually won the Crossroads contest that he had and was voted in over 3,000 bands. Would have been great to see Philip there. But overall, Willie, this is a fantastic lineup. And really, like I said, between the past, present, and future, hats off on this lineup, because it really is a great lineup.
Yeah, it's funny because, like I said, you mentioned so many names. I can't think, when you say Sayce, I can't think of a lot of guitarists these days that are better than him. I'm never going to go out and say that so-and-so is the best. I can't think of a lot that are better. I know that some of his music is so intricate and expressive that I think maybe sometimes it skips over people's heads. Anthony Gomes, I think of that sort of bridge between what we'd consider, he's got more of that rock feel, which I think draws people into the blues. I think he's missed. I'll throw this name out here too, and I always talk about her because I think she's so wonderful. And I remember years ago when I lived in Chicago, trying to go see her at the mines all the time, the Kingston mines, that is. Joanna Connor would be a name that I think could fit in too. But once again, not only the logistics of getting everyone there, at some point, there's only so many spaces.
Yeah. And it can get pretty crazy when they throw 20 people on stage at the same time and they're trying to make it sound coherent. So, I mean,
that's hard.
It's understandable. But what do you all think? Who are you looking forward to seeing at Crossroads? Who do you wish was on the lineup? Let us know down in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you.